Why does social media make us feel so connected and yet so alone? In today's digital world, social media is unavoidable. We scroll before bed, wake up to notifications, and check our timelines on lunch breaks. It promises connection, but increasingly people report feeling anxious, depressed, and more isolated than ever. So what's really happening? Some say social media is toxic by design, others say it's just a mirror, reflecting what we bring to it. Is it the root of our mental health crisis, or simply the amplifier of what's already there? In 2025, the conversation around social media and mental health is louder than ever. New studies, new platforms, and new cultural norms are changing how we think and feel. This video dives deep into the real psychological effects of social media. Not the hype, not the headlines, just the truth. What does constant online exposure do to the way we think and feel? Dopamine is the first thing to understand. Every like, comment, and share triggers a small reward in the brain, just like sugar, gambling, or even drugs. Over time, the brain adapts, needing more to feel the same reward. This dopamine loop makes social media addictive. We start checking compulsively, and when engagement drops, our mood often follows. That's not just emotional, that's neurological. It also rewires our attention, making us crave short bursts of stimulation. This undermines focus, patience, and even memory, especially in younger users whose brains are still developing. What's worse, the algorithms are fully aware of this. Platforms are built to keep us scrolling, reacting, and clicking, feeding us what keeps us most engaged and not what helps us feel good. Over time, this changes not just how we feel, but more importantly, who we actually are. Why are we more connected and more alone than ever before? Social media gives the illusion of closeness. We see our friends' photos, know their updates, and watch their stories. But meaningful interaction, that's harder to find. Studies show that passive social media use, defined as just scrolling, correlates with higher loneliness. It replaces real connection with digital shadows, and the likes don't mean someone truly knows you. Even worse, we start comparing, and everyone's life looks better online. The result? We feel like we're falling behind, even if we're not. There's also the rise of parasocial relationships. We follow influencers like they're our friends. We feel connected to them, it's totally one-sided, and the emotional investment isn't ever returned. Loneliness in the digital age isn't about being physically isolated. It's about feeling emotionally invisible in a sea of updates. How does curated perfection damage self-esteem and body image? Social media is a highlight reel. We see filtered faces, edited bodies, perfect meals, and exotic vacations. But we don't see the anxiety, the bad days, or the Photoshop behind the post. Teens and young adults are especially vulnerable. Body image disorders, disordered eating, and anxiety have all spiked since the rise of Instagram and TikTok. It's not just influencers, even friends post their best moments. We compare their top 1% to our behind the scenes and we lose. This comparison is subtle, but corrosive. It creeps into how we see ourselves, how we feel in our bodies, and how we define our success. When every scroll is a reminder that we're not enough, the damage can run deep. What does science actually say about social media and mental health? The link between social media and mental health isn't just anecdotal, it's measurable. Multiple studies have linked heavy usage with increased rates of depression, anxiety, and negative thinking, especially in teenagers. One landmark study found that reducing social media use by just 30 minutes a day significantly improved well-being and sleep quality within 2 weeks. Sleep deprivation plays a role too. Late-night scrolling disrupts melatonin cycles and leads to getting poor rest, which is one of the strongest predictors of mental health decline. But not all use is harmful. It's how we use it. Active engagement, commenting, sharing, and messaging tends to be more positive. Passive consumption, that's where the damage often lies. In short, it's not just how much you scroll, it's what you're scrolling and why. How do age, gender, and personality affect the impact of social media? Not everyone responds to social media the same. Young people are especially at risk because their identities are still forming. Validation becomes currency, and its absence a crisis. Women and girls are more likely to experience body image pressure and online bullying. Boys, on the other hand, are often exposed to toxic masculinity and radical content pipelines. Introverts may withdraw further when overwhelmed by curated extroversion, while extroverts may seek more attention, risking dependence on external validation. Even geographic and cultural factors shape experience. In some places, social media is a tool for protest. In others, it's a tool for control. Understanding how different people are affected is key, because the solution can't be one size fits all. Is this just a side effect, or is it the whole business model? Let's be honest. Social media companies know exactly what they're doing. They hire behavioral scientists, they test color schemes, and they monitor your every click. The goal isn't your well-being, it's increasing engagement. And what increases engagement? Outrage, fear, desire, and comparison. These platforms are addictive by design. Infinite scroll, variable reward, and fear of missing out are not bugs, they're features. Even the notification sounds and vibrations are engineered for dopamine response. We're not users, we're lab rats. And while we talk about personal responsibility, it's hard to win when the game is rigged. Is there a healthier way to be online? Not all social media is bad. It can raise awareness, build communities, and offer real emotional support. It can even be a lifeline at times, especially for marginalized groups. Mental health influencers, peer support groups, and crisis resources all thrive on social media platforms. They use the same tools for good that others use for bad. It also depends on our intention. When we follow people who uplift us, when we share honestly, and when we use it to connect, not compare, it changes everything. The key isn't just quitting, it's curating and consuming consciously, because the power to shape your feed is the power to shape your mind. The solution isn't about fear, it's about awareness. When we understand how these platforms work, we can set boundaries. We can choose creators who inspire instead of trigger, replace doom scrolling with purpose, and model healthy habits for the next generation. Change doesn't require deleting every app. It requires being conscious of how we use them and how they use us. That awareness alone can be a radical act of mental self-defense. Can we reclaim our minds from our screens? Social media is not just a tech issue, it's a public health issue. It's shaping our relationships, our self-esteem, our sleep, and even our sense of worth. It's not all bad, but it's not neutral either. The harms are real and rising, and pretending otherwise is no longer an option. But we're not powerless. We can unfollow, we can turn off, and we can teach the next generation that their value is not measured in likes. We can call out platforms, demand better design, and support content that heals instead of harms. The question isn't whether we need social media or not, it's whether we can use it without letting it harm us. So, can we control or maybe even reverse the negative effects of social media on our mental health? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notifications bell if this video opened your eyes. And share it with someone who is battling this issue and clarity might help. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.